live. Yeah, we going live. Hey, we going live. Yeah, we going live. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello.
I am Jarrett, the football genius Burgess.
And I'm Stephanie Fitzpatrick, aka the Advantage Coach.
And this is episode 120 of the Field to the Real podcast.
Yes.
Moving right
Moving right along.
along.
Yes.
Well, let's jump into this Who's Really Right, because I'm super
All
anxious to talk about this.
Okay.
And you know I got some personal feelings on it. So.
Of course you do.
So, when we talked about this the other day, I can't remember if you sent me the post or I sent it to you. We saw that Patrick Mahomes was willing to do something drastic, or what I think your words were dramatic,
Yes.
to get his point across with the name of the Kansas City team. So the team is named the Kansas City Chiefs, which is, to some people, an ode to the Native Americans, or let's remove that from the lexicon.
Indigenous.
The name of the indigenous people of this country.
Yes.
Or some people look at it as disrespect or mocking of the indigenous people of this country. And so Patrick Mahomes, feeling the latter, made the decision that he wasn't going to play until the team decides to change its name. And so with this Who's Really Right, we want to know if this was a good idea or if this was a bad idea, and just the way that he made the decision to make his point.
Right.
Ladies first.
Yeah, no, okay, so if you heard what Jarrett just said, I thought this was a little dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
While I agree with the stance he's taking, I mean, I feel like you don't get the right unless the indigenous people of this nation said you could use it, right?
Right.
We've had conversation, because unlike your football team, which it was a more derogatory term, right? Than it was anything else. Chiefs is not necessarily a derogatory term. It is just, I feel like they needed the permission to use it before they did, to continue to use it, right?
Right.
So I wanted to put that out there first. I see the need for the respect of the indigenous people with whom this is referring to, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like we could have I love Patrick Mahomes, but we could have probably done this a little differently, sir. So I'm not really feeling like this was a good idea to just leave camp and say I'm not. It almost feels like a tantrum, right? I'm not gonna play with you all anymore until you. That's how it feels, and I just don't think that is. I mean, obviously it got a little traction, but I don't know that it's gotten the impact that he was hoping for. Mm-hmm. And I just don't know but the reason it hasn't is because I don't know if that was the exact way to do this, right?
Right.
Maybe because that Patrick Mahomes knows his stature in this world, right? He knows his influence.
Right.
So perhaps it was a different. And I don't know what went on behind closed doors. So let me just say, assuming that he did not do some of these other options that he might have had, right, to get this done, it just seems like he should have, I don't know. And you needed more than just you. You know what I mean? Yeah, you needed more than just you. Had you been able to convince your whole team to walk out, maybe that would have been like, oh, okay, they're not coming back to camp till we figure this out, so let's figure this out, like forcing the issue. I don't remember how it happened with the Washington football team, and they were forced into changing their name, and it was last minute, just like this could be. But that's why they just called the Washington football team, because they had no time to be imaginative at that point, right? So I'm just feeling like this is the same situation, but maybe he should have taken the play out of that playbook.
Yeah.
And I don't remember anybody leaving camp for the Washington football team when it was them. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So anyway, I say no, bad idea.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you why I feel like this is the perfect thing for Patrick Mahomes to do. On a personal level for him, and this shouldn't be the reason anyone does anything, but on a personal level, this gives him some cultural currency, right?
Kind of his Colin Kaepernick stance.
Right. His Colin Kaepernick stance. And the difference between he and Colin Kaepernick is at the time, Colin Kaepernick was ending a deal, and Colin Kaepernick probably wasn't as big of a quarterback as Patrick Mahomes is right now. No. Patrick Mahomes is the future of this league, and I don't think Colin Kaepernick was looked at like that during that time.
Absolutely not.
Patrick Mahomes just signed a deal that actually hasn't gone into effect yet. So there is an investment that's been made into him.
True.
We talk about athletes using their voice, you know what I'm saying, to speak out and speak up against injustice. And I feel like even if he went to some of his teammates and said, hey, let's do this, and they all said, nah, it's understandable why he would still do it, because
he's the loudest voice.
But the other players don't have as much cachet as he does.
That's one thing. He the loudest. I mean, his actions are going to be the loudest in this. Yeah, that he the one they care about. Essentially, I hate to put it that way.
No. That's where that is the truth. Yeah. Because a lot of those other players who probably would have done this with him are expendable. They can be cut without penalty. You can't just let go of Patrick Mahomes. And because like this is what we want to see. We want to see that these players are so gung-ho about a cause that they will put their careers on the line in order to make change happen. And while Chiefs isn't necessarily looked at as a derogatory term, like you said, they didn't have permission to use this. So it's like, what do we call people who live off of the culture vultures?
Culture vultures.
And so this is what this is. Like, you're using the name Chiefs. Are we investing in any indigenous people? You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I feel like this was the perfect thing for Patrick Mahomes to do, because he can hold this franchise hostage with as much money as, he was giving up front. You don't make that investment into somebody and say, we're not going to do everything in our power to make them happy. Now, something like switching the name of a team, while that may be huge, I think he's probably one of the few people in the league that could get something like this done.
We'll see.
Now, imagine somebody like, and I'm not saying this in a disrespectful, derogatory manner. Imagine somebody like Cam Newton trying to make this stance, right? Up there in New England. Like,
that isn't going to go over very well. He'd be cut.
You know what I'm saying? And so
that's not going over very well.
I think that like you said, he understands his stature. Like, he understands like the
there's power behind his name. There's power behind his name. I get that.
And so if you feel so strongly about this, with that amount of power you have behind your name, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I want the most. You have so much power behind your name. I want the most bang for your buck.
Right.
That's my problem with it. I don't know. This was the way to get the biggest bang for your buck. I just don't know.
Well, we've seen with the NFL that the only thing that really the only thing that you really have is your ability to work. So work stoppage is the only thing that we can that we have to combat any issue.
Yeah.
With the
this is what everybody
with the
do.
teams.
Yeah.
I'm not
when
happy.
They don't like it. They don't show up.
I'm not happy with my contract. I
don't show up. Yeah.
I'm not happy with how the front office is treating me, and we'll get to that in a second. I'm not showing up.
Yeah.
So that's all we have. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm glad that he did it. I hope that he does see that traction. It's possible.
I want him to too. I do. I want to see it.
Right.
I do hope it happens. Somebody paying attention.
Yeah.
There's a guy on TikTok that I think would be an awesome advocate alongside him, and I cannot think of his name right now. He is an indigenous person, but he is, strong. I love him. I can't think of his name right now, but he is amazing. Yeah. I think he would be somebody that would really be a good ally for him in this fight right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, you guys, Stephanie feels like this was a bad idea and a bad way to go about it. I think this was the perfect thing to do. You guys let us know who you think is really right. And yeah, I think that I think this will be an interesting one. I'm interested in seeing what people feel about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because in my first glance at it, I was thinking to myself, this is bold.
Yeah.
This is bold. This was a bold thing. And then the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I loved it because of somebody of his stature. Mm-hmm. And when we hear stuff like it's drawing a line in the sand, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not ragging on Michael Jordan with this, but this is the only example I can think of right now where an athlete isn't going to walk down the middle. He's choosing the side.
I get it. Yeah.
And so
and kudos to him. I'm not, trust me, my opinion, the way that he handled this is not in any way knocking what he did, because not only because I tell people this all the time, most causes that we take up because there's some personal something about it for us, right? You see celebrities all the time till their kids have some disease, they don't even know what it is. And then as soon as they find out they're diagnosed, they all in trying to get cure, research, all that kind of stuff. So it is typically when it is personal to us that we do it. So for him to make this stance, and I don't know, because clearly he's got probably a few things going on as far as his ethnicity goes. Yeah. That he has any indigenous blood, you know what I mean? So this could just be taking up a cause that he felt like was important because they're people of color. Right. You know what I mean? And so to him, kudos for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all let us know.
Yeah, let us know who you think is really right.
Now put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.